Welcome students. Today we will start with this important point, arrival of the Europeans. So I have two questions, that why did Europeans arrive to India? The first question, why did Europeans arrive to India? And the second, why did they travel so far? So let's find out the answer. As you know, India was a country rich in mineral and agricultural resources. Voyagers and explorers from European countries who traveled through India found to their surprise that the cost of various items here were so low that they could easily cover up the cost of transportation across high seas and still make large profits. For example, when Vasco da Gama of Portugal discovered the new sea route from Europe around Africa to port of Calicut in India, underline this point, Vasco da Gama of Portugal discovered the new sea route from Europe around Africa to port of Calicut in India. He found that the price of pepper in Calicut was 126th of the price in Italy. He carried huge cargo on his return journey which sold for 60 times the cost of his voyage. Portugal eventually established a factory at Cananur. Such was the lure means attraction for the Europeans to trade with India. The other attractions were saltpeter required for the manufacture of gunpowder, indigo for dyeing of cloth, and cotton textiles of very fine quality. Dear students, there were different European countries who wanted to establish a trade relation with India. So let's see the various European countries which had interests in India were the French, the Dutch, the Portuguese, and the British. Travelers from Spain and Danish also traded with India, but at a much smaller scale. Now we will discuss that how the European powers set their footholds in India. So first the Portuguese realized the advantages of trade with India and were the first to set sights on establishing trading centers in India. They established their merchants and agents in Cochin, Goa, and Daman. To get into trade, they even had to fight small battles with the Arabs who were already trading from these areas. They also took advantage of the mutual rivalries of the Indian rulers. They went on to build forts and naval bases along the coast, which developed into settlements which were known as the colonies, with their own homeland passing into the hands of Spain in 1580 CE. They did not expand much on Indian soil and they remained concentrated in these locations only. Now the Dutch. The Dutch established trading centers in India at Surat and Ahmedabad in Gujarat, Nagapattinam and Masulipatinam on the eastern coast, and smaller centers like Chinsura at Bengal, Patna, Bihar, and Agra in UP. They essentially purchased indigo, silk, cotton textiles, saltpeter, and opium. By the middle of the 18th century, the Britishers wiped off the Dutch centers in India. Now the French, we will discuss about the French. Learning from the trading practices of the Portuguese, the Dutch, the British and the French also formed a trading company in 1664. This was assisted by the French government in terms of loans and grants which helped make rapid progress. They established settlements in Pondicherry, Mahe, Karaikal and Chandanagore. Chandaner or Chandanagore. The first French factory was established in Surat in 1667. The first French factory was established in Surat in 1667 under the Director Generalship of Martin. The company founded the settlement of Pondicherry, which has left a distinct mark on the Indian subcontinent. The French governor of Pondicherry, Dupleix, had a vision to establish the supremacy of the French over the British in India, but after the initial successes in the Carnatic Wars, his military and diplomatic skills failed to match the British. So, dear students, there were a series of arrival of the European powers like the Portuguese arrived India. After the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the Danish and the French. So let's discuss about the British. The British. The advent of the Industrial Revolution gave rise to the need for more and cheaper raw material on the one hand and the markets to sell the finished goods on the other. For this purpose began the exploration of markets and trading areas beyond Europe, and at the same time came in the need to protect these trading companies from competition. The theory of mercantile trading companies came into being, which essentially dictated that some business enterprise needed protection from various tariffs. These were those enterprises which make profit primarily through international trade by buying goods cheap and selling them at higher prices. Dear students, so I have a question that who was the Mughal emperor in that time when the Britishers arrived India? Who was the Mughal emperor in Delhi when the Britishers arrived India? So the Mughal emperor was Jahangir. Sir Thomas Roe, who was the ambassador of King James I of England, got the permission from the Mughal king Jahangir to trade in India. In 1600, the East India Company was awarded a charter from Queen Elizabeth I, the then ruler of England. Queen Elizabeth I, the then ruler of England, granting it the exclusive right to trade with the East. This right gave them protection from competition from other British companies, but it was not applicable against other European companies. Now that there were many European buyers for the same products from India, the demand and supply equation thus caused higher prices for the goods, which was reducing their profit. The only way left to ensure profits was to eliminate competition of buyers, which led to rivalries and fierce battle between the trading companies. They blocked trade routes to prevent free movement of ships laden with goods, and even sank them so as to gain monopolistic benefits. Now, such rivalries also necessitated the construction of fortresses, fortifications around their trading posts and settlements. Small armies were required to protect their economic interests, but all these again started taking away portion of their profit. On the other hand, establishing fortifications on the foreign soil India led to conflicts with the local rulers, and it is this which caused the political alignments to take shape. Now, dear students, in this given map, you can see that how the Europeans, like the Portuguese, the Dutch, the English, the Danish, and the French, how they arrived to India. So now you can see in the Asia continent, this is Asia continent, map of Asia continent, and this is the map of Africa, and this part is Europe. So this is commonly known as Eurasia. Now from this part you can see they have discovered a sea route. First time a traveler known as Bartholomew Diaz tried to reach India, but due to some reason he had to stop his journey and he went back to Portugal. And after a year, Vasco da Gama started his voyage journey, and he reached to Asantrip and crossed the Indian Ocean and reached to the Calicut, the Malabar coast in Calicut, the western coast of India. And after that, the series of arrival started from Europe. The Dutch, the English, the Danish, and the French, by the passage of time, they tried to establish a trade relation with India. Now, dear students, in the next video, we will discuss about the colonies of the Europeans which were established near the coastal regions of India, and the conflicts of the Europeans with Indian rulers.